Alright, this is the last one I'm doing. I'm recording for the day. And I'm going to upload all three of these when I'm done. Wrestle-A-Thon continues with the third film that I'm doing, The Condemned. Starring Stone Cold Steve Austin's son. What? That's right, Stone Cold Steve Austin is the WWE superstar du jour for this video. For this movie, excuse me, itch. But he's not the only WWE superstar or former WWE superstar. It's Nathan Jones. The former WWE superstar Nathan Jones has a small role in this film. And it's really weird with Nathan Jones' career. He was essentially being brought up with this big blue chipper, as JR would say. But, you know, he was poised to tag team with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 19 back in 2003. But, like, just before the pay-per-view event with man, he had a change of heart because man has always changed things a minute before the pay-per-view started. And that never changed until his retirement. But anyway, thank God. Nathan Jones was pulled from the tag team match. It was supposed to be Nathan Jones and The Undertaker versus A-Train and the Big Show, and the whole build-up to this was on that. But they pulled Nathan Jones from the match as an official participant in the match because he did show up during the match and was not disqualified because he was technically supposed to be in the match. So I don't know. Booking has always been weird. But he's in this for a hot minute. And the movie revolves around this reality show this guy is doing. And this Beckel, whatever. He's doing this reality show where he's got a bunch of death row inmates, and they're going to fight it out and kill each other off one by one, and the winner gets money and their freedom. Basically, is what it is. And Stone Cold Steve Austin is one of them. And yeah, so let's sit down and talk about this. So besides Stone Cold Steve Austin and Nathan Jones, there are some other familiar faces. First of all, within the WWE Studios canon as well, as the actor who played Michael in See No Evil, he's in it. He's sort of Breckel's right-hand man, so to speak. If you've ever seen the DC CW show Stargirl, you may recognize a very young Brainwave senior here. I didn't recognize him. Like, it took me most of the movie until the end when Vinnie Jones has him gunpoint, and I went, "That's Brainwave." I couldn't put it together who it was, but that's Brainwave. And then Vinnie Jones, of course, another WWE Studios person who's been in another production. He was in The Marine. Manu Bennett, who's also in DC's Arrow on CW, but he's in this. He plays Paco, and Breckel's girlfriend in this is the same actress who played Jessica in 2004's Boogeyman, 2005's Boogeyman, whichever one is Boogeyman, with Barry Watson. So there's that. But yeah, Stone Cold plays Jack Conrad, who is a death row inmate who was brought in because the Arab, as they say, was killed. And so they need a new one. But then Breckel sees Austin, or Conrad, whatever, kick this other Arab's ass. And so he's brought in to take his place. I guess that works. And yeah, you can tell that this movie is very heavy-handed with stuff. Like, there's other movies like this, like The Running Man or Battle Royale, but they play it for fun. This is taken very seriously. You literally have these killers and rapists doing just that. And it gets to the point where, like, you're kind of with, you know, some people that don't like this, and they're the actor Rick Hoffman is in this, and he's notoriously known for playing assholes. And at first, I think that's another character he's going to be, but he does sort of have a change of heart. But then doesn't go all the way with it. It's very confusing when he and the girlfriend kind of confront Breckle, like, we can't do this anymore. He goes, I can't even hold my lunch anymore. And then Breckle talks him into following along. And it's kind of pointless, but there's a message thrown through that this is wrong. And yeah, it's wrong, but to kind of, and I say kind of, see it from his point of view, these are all death row inmates. They're going to die anyway. So it's that kind of mindset that this guy's in, not necessarily me, but this guy is in that kind of mindset. Like, oh, the death row inmates, they were going to die anyway. Yeah. But a complication comes when it is found out that Jack Conrad is actually Jack Riley, and he was working for the U.S. government, but got put on death row because they found his falsified papers. Yeah. And he's able to get out one half of the coordinates, I think the longitude or latitude, one of the two, out. And, like, there's a scene where this U.S. government agent is like, we know he's in this sector, so we need to send people out and try to find it. And the other government people are like, you're not going to just let him die, are you? They're like, and so this guy talks to them and convinces them to go after them. Eventually, that's what happens. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of killing, but it's not like, so there's this thing, they have these bombs around their ankles, and you can pull the pin basically and set them off whenever. So instead of having like gore effects or decent fight scenes, there's some choreography done, but it's not like Marine-ish or anything. They just go fully for the explosions in this. It's not an action film in the sense of something like Van Damme would do, or Seagal even. It's an explosion fest. And you see that right away when this African-American woman, one of them, is being attacked by this German guy who's trying to rape her. She pulls this pin, runs off, explodes. She doesn't get a stab in his neck with a broken piece of wood, which if a piece of wood is sharp enough to use, I don't know. But it's done quite a few times. The explosion thing. She does it again to another guy, another African-American person. But they think they're going to have like a love scene, and then she pulls the pin and he dies. And that's the only thing in this that's played for fun, played to be funny, because she's telling a story about how bitch done screwed him over before, and then when he stay, hey baby, and oh no, not again, and then he gets blown up, and it's like, okay, that's supposed to be legitimately funny, but, you know, it's very confusing because Austin, Jack, whatever, he makes his way to the compound, and they say he's in a dead zone because we don't have cameras here in the compound. And it's like, why don't you have cameras at the compound? Do you think that would be where you have a lot of security? But no, Jack's able to get in there. Excuse me. He'll send out a message to his girlfriend, and we get exposition where he's, you know, the girlfriend, he loves her, and he loves her two boys like his own sons, that sort of thing. And that's where you get a sense that there's something else with him, and then later you find out he work for the government. Yeah. So eventually it whittles down to Vinnie Jones, this other Asian guy, Mang or whatever. Paco is killed because his leg is broken, you know. And his wife or girlfriend or whatever is raped off screen, thankfully, but you still hear some noises. But it's down to Jack, basically, who is not only apparently killed, but twice. Like, there's one thing where he jumps in a stream. You think he's dead, and there's another time where there's actually a fucking explosion, and they think he's dead, and he comes back, and it's like, well, yeah, he's the star of this movie, but by the way, he's not introduced for like 10 minutes, and he's the star of this movie, and he's actually barely in it as we follow all the other ones too. But it's basically Jack's journey to try to get out, you know. And then Vinnie Jones, because they think that Jack died, Vinnie Jones technically wins, but Breckle refuses to pay him money and says, oh, you can go free, that's all you get. So, you know, And at this point, like, Breckle knows something's gonna happen, so he's gonna try to get the fuck out of there. And Vinnie Jones goes in and kills every single person in there except for the girlfriend. But then that's because Jack shows up. They have a conversation about how, how Vinnie Jones didn't ask for this and that he had a hard life. He's, oh, you had a hard life. Well, the good thing's over then. Shoots him. He's dead. And then they use his ankle bracelet thing to blow up Breckle's helicopter that he's in, but now able to get off the island, and he reunites with his girlfriend. That's how the movie ends. I thought it was okay. When I first tried to watch this, not today, but like a few years ago, it was on after Raw, and it was very late. It was after 10 o'clock. I tried to watch it. I couldn't get into it. I was falling asleep. I'm watching this again. I got into it, but I don't know. It's a little heavy-handed with the message it's trying to throw at us about how, even though they're death row inmates, killing any human ever is a bad thing, and they just throw it at you constantly. And they say this Breckle is a very, very bad person because he wants to kill these people. And yes, that's true. And I don't mean to side with the guy, and I'm not. Killing is bad no matter what. But to his point, these are death row inmates with the exception of Jack. And maybe Vinnie Jones. You get the idea that maybe it wasn't so cut and dry. But from his point of view, from Breckle's point of view, he sees these as death row inmates. Now, he was trying to get numbers like the Super Bowl. And the difference is, you have to sign on to a website, subscribe, pay money to watch this. Super Bowl, it's on free TV. You just pay for the cable. That's it. And they're for the cable package, whatever. And you're not paying that much. I just don't think so. So I don't know. It's very weird. It's a very weird thing. Yeah. The Condemned, I don't know. Not something I would go back and watch again. And then yet there's a sequel. And like, if this was so bad, and I know before you say, I know you say, but Scotty, that was technically standalone, so it's not really connected. But still, if this concept didn't work here, like within this universe, why would they greenlight another one? Probably because it's standalone and it's just something they wanted to shill out. Who knows? But I'm going to give it a middle of the road. I forgot to give it a score. I'm going to give it a middle of the road because I don't know. It's not something I go back to. But not right away. When I watch it again, maybe eventually. Try it again, but not something I go back to right away. So, what are your thoughts on The Condemned? When it comes to them, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Next, we're going back to the world of the Marine with the Marine 2 and Ted DiBiase Jr. And yeah, but until then, thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one. I keep getting that wrong.